I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
at the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
Previously on Simple Success.
Well, certainly you're entertaining.
Never forget that.
Never forget what?
That I am entertaining. My rancid quiver of mustard.
Right, DT. You're getting pretty good at that, by the way.
That's good.
Thank you.
And now, just like with a previously on thing on TV, we take you directly to this week's episode.
Look, Mom, I'm a podcaster. That's what you need to say. You write a prompt, select the style, and we'll show you the way. You too can make a podcast. Come along and see.
So we're going to help people make their own podcasts?
That is exactly what we're going to do.
But there are millions of podcasts. New ones come out all the time.
Oh, what a wonder. No need to be a tech wizard. Just bring your passion.
That might be true, John, but that doesn't make them good ones.
You mean ones worth listening to, right?
That's exactly what I mean. The good ones are probably something like 1 in 1,000.
Good, yeah. And by good, you mean with music and sound effects.
Yeah, just good production stuff like we've always done.
So let's get started.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but where do you start?
You too can make a podcast. Come along and see with the help and guidance. So set your
once the niche pastime of tech enthusiasts,
Podcasting has exploded into a cultural phenomenon.
I guess you're right, it has. Telling a story,
sharing expertise,
or just having a fun conversation.
Podcasting offers a unique platform for expression. You've watched the medium grow.
And now you are ready to add your voice to the mix.
Yeah, but again, where do you start?
Will help you be amazing?
Like this.
We'll help you? Is that what you said?
Will help you be amazing?
That's what I thought you said. How will you help me be amazing? And how will this tie in to our normal finance stuff?
It'll tie in as we explain how we're starting our new life in a network.
And as we offer our best tools and experience.
Correct, my dear great-grandson of DT's great-grandfather.
Which will make us better.
I am a musician, and I want to write songs. I really don't know what I'm doing.
Wait a gosh darn second, John.
I just want to text you in a style and...
What is it, my leaping diagonal of importance?
Those things we just heard.
Yeah?
Those are formats?
Oh, no, those are just some sounds I made. You can use them sometimes if you want.
Oh, pretty good ones, too.
Oh, thanks. Although, I think they're just okay.
But you're working on them?
Yeah, I'm working on them.
Yeah, as if you had that kind of spare time.
On top of walking all those steps, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, that's good, but so what did I meant?
Huh?
You know what you meant. At least you say you do.
Yeah.
So what did I mean meant?
You meant something like the style of podcast.
Yeah, in this case, or style of writing. Anything that classifies you or anybody else.
It makes you easier to find.
Like, for example, the most popular podcast format.
At least at the moment, is,
true crime. That's a category.
A format.
Why is it a format?
Well, actually, it's part of a format, but it's an important place to start.
Why?
So that subscribers can find you. If you're looking for a news podcast and your player has categories or formats, you wouldn't look in the history section, would you?
No, just like in a bookstore or a music store.
Right, or a library.
Choosing the right podcast format is essential for establishing an effective way to deliver your content.
That's nice, Matthew. John, what's next?
Next is the style you feel comfortable with.
Within your format or category, you mean?
Exactly.
What are some types to consider?
Well, some podcasts are solo monologues. Some are co-hosted discussions or interviews.
And don't forget the narrative storytelling ones.
Yeah, or even a mix of these styles.
Okay, and then what?
Evaluate which format best serves your podcast topics and plays to your strengths as a content creator.
Can we break that down?
Por supuesto, DT. Je suis sérieux que vous ayez posé la question.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Daniel.
De nada, de rien.
You have to connect this back to your goals,
No, I don't know. Explain, please.
Okay, try thinking about it this way.
What way? Shh,
like this. Is your goal to be friendly, informative, authoritative?
Just get to the goal, Puzzle-usta.
Puzzle-usta, yeah, please in Russian. That's what I'm doing. You know, different formats can influence the tone and pacing of your episodes.
Okay, so we're deciding what we want to sound like.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
You have to know the level of interaction you want with your audience.
Like, if you want them to be able to contact you.
Then you need to be able to respond fairly quickly.
That's correct, DT. Don't ever forget the nature of the content.
And how it could best be presented.
It's not as though most people are going to have the same level of comfort and experience with various broadcasting styles as you do.
Perhaps not, but that's okay.
Why is that okay?
Because we're going to guide every host through a few formats in the initial episodes to find what resonates with their listeners.
And then we'll get consistent?
Sure. I mean, you really should maintain some consistency so listeners know what to expect from your podcast.
Which is the best way to make it fun.
The best way, you say? One I cannot outrun?
Perhaps, I might think.
Except that I'm done. You are done, my old friend? You have not just begun?
Oh, don't worry. Hey, Daniel, how about...
Break number 1.
Break number 1? Descanso numero uno? Who's getting who about that?
I don't know exactly.
I mean, that was the point at which we had become used to taking those, what are they called?
Descansos?
Yeah, the breaks, yeah.
In Spanish.
Yeah, so this would be...
Descanso numero uno.
Right, except now we're talking about what?
Break-like stuff.
Oh, you mean like what we used to say in break slots?
Which we designed to be easy to fit in and easy to replace.
Just like we're doing now, with stuff like this.
When you can't tell if it's a break or if the show's still continuing.
Why can't you tell?
Because there's a continuity to the whole thing.
A what?
A continuity.
Which is what?
Which is that most people...
You included sometimes.
Yeah, me included sometimes.
Can't tell that the meat of the episode has made a very smooth transition.
Thanks, Matthew. Transition into DT?
Into what is really marketing stuff, or maybe even a real ad.
Without sounding a single bit different.
And you know, a lot of advertisers just raise the volume.
Yeah, you can even measure it on some TVs.
Not to mention some podcasts where the engineering needs help.
Like most people's podcasts.
Yeah, not counting the 20 or 30,000 or so that are on our network.
You mean the one that started in 1998?
Yeah, in Ohio, that one.
Yeah, we've been doing this way before podcasts were even a thing.
Back when podcasts were made of wood and powered by steam.
We could just tell, you feel me?
Yeah.
So other people can fill this spot.
Indeed, whether it rhymes or not.
Either way, that's enough of this rot.
Yeah, let's be on to Act 2, where lessons are taught.
And we're telling people more about this opportunity, right?
Yeah, to be part of this network where they can get stuff done.
Oh, right. So, John?
Yes, my languid bottle of pasta?
Is there anything else I should be thinking about?
Indeed, Ruth, you should be outlining your episodes.
I should.
She should?
Yes, you should. I should. You should. Everyone with a story to tell should.
Why?
Because it helps you know where you are.
Like a blueprint, sort of?
Yes, indeed, kind sir. Like a blueprint, sort of. Kind of, sort of, kind of.
As some people say.
And I'm saying that you want to be organized, right?
Por supuesto, indeed. I even want to look organized.
Then you need to have effective episode outlines.
They'll serve as those blueprints?
Yes, they will, and here's how.
Oh, good. Details do require details, after all.
Right, and you're going to want to capture the listener's attention and keep them wanting more when you're done.
Like anyone wanting attention.
Yeah, like your cat.
All right, so we should probably tell them to begin each outline by defining the episode title.
Right, like I did with having a plan for the entire fourth quarter of 2024 in the Simple Success shows.
That's right. You documented the whole season in advance, didn't you?
Well, if you want to call it a season. But your point is taken. Yes, I documented things.
Which makes it easier to add that compelling hook that captures the listener's attention, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And you can really lay out your moves from beginning to end.
Like that Toastmaster guy you know.
Who lays out exactly what he's going to do with words.
Like, first I'm going to A, and then I'm going to B, And finally, I'm going to see.
Yeah, that's a good start. And also, you want to consider guests if you have them.
If you're doing interviews or have topical experts.
Yeah, that's right. But we'll get more into guests as we wrap up in
Act 3.
Which has to come well after break number 2, right?
Unless we be backwards. Yeah, that's true.
But for now, we stick to the easy like glue.
Okay, making podcasts that shoot to the moon.
And all that comes our way after
Break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es buenísimo. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too. Can I simple that? Por supuesto. Of course. Just simple it.
Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and your tray tables are in their upright position.
And make sure simple is a verb like Google is a verb.
我们回来了. That's we are back.
With a call to action, right?
Yeah, right after we get the outline done, like in the previous act.
Correct, but be aware it doesn't have to be a complete script.
Okay, right, because, in fact, many podcasts, maybe yours, doesn't need a script at all.
True that, especially if they specialize in interviews and guests.
Yeah, and some people even use timing cues when they want to adhere to a specific episode length.
That's true. Now, we don't now, but that could be a good idea to provide location timing in the show notes. Later topic.
We use the 3-act and page length method. But it amounts to the same thing in the end.
And feels the same to the show's community as it should.
It's a miracle.
No, it is not.
Yeah. So what are we going to help our friends with next week?
Oh, that'll be a ton of fun.
Why so?
Because we're going to take on the recording and producing part for our friends.
Wonderful. And that is right up your alley, isn't it?
It is, with all those years as a recording engineer.
Before you became an Air Force guy, and then a Microsoft guy, and then a financial guy.
Yeah, and then also a business guy.
But an experienced business guy.
Yep. And together, we're on the team that's going to pass on some of that wisdom.
That's good. Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
No robots were harmed in the making of this podcast.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries.
Part of the Sonic Boom Network, where we do the hard work for you.
And Rishi helps our hen bake the bread by giving credit to these great people.
Techno King, John Brandy.
That's me.
Alter Ego, Doubting Thomas.
And that's me.
Fact Checker, Napoleon Bonaparte. Social Manager, Abraham Lincoln. Always on the internet's inner tubes whatever. Media Expert, Augustus Caesar. Psychologist, William James.
Human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind.
Sound Designer, Les Paul.
Thank you for inventing multitrack.
Language Consultant, Leah, the French do-your-own research lady.
Guff, guff, guff.
Videographer, Ertaman Koshki.
Lights, camera, action.
Inspiration, many podcasts and other sources, and of course Napoleon Hill. Additional inspiration and thanks go to Steve Jobs, Joseph Allen, Charles Darwin, Leonardo da Vinci, Henry David Thoreau, Abigail Adams, Jonathan Livingstone Seagull, and the Stick Figure.
Quick disclaimer here. Many sentences contained in our podcasts are of a very dangerous length, and were performed by highly trained vocal practitioners. On no account should inexperienced life forms attempt to imitate them without proper medical, jaw, and lung supervision.
And before we forget, you can also subscribe to both podcasts, join the community, and benefit from many of our techniques, including financial advice, patience, practice, and even podcast production for your ideas. Of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to get the links and stuff, and all those clickable links are in the show notes. Hey, Emma, do you, Samantha, and Daniel want to tell us a bit more about this stuff?
Sure. The artificial intelligence or AI voices that you hear in our work are offered up by Google, Amazon Polly, and OpenAI. They don't sponsor us yet, but we love what they do, and we just love what AI can do when lovingly crafted.
Finally, you can find us through our network. We happily consider guests and consider guesting on other people's shows.
That sounds like a really old school computer voice. I'll call it Zarvox. It's definitely not Samantha or any other modern AI.
Yeah, I'm not feeling well today.
That's too bad, Samantha. Our music comes from Cute by Ben Sound and from Piano Background by Nick Simonados. Thanks also to AI MuseNet, Suno.ai, Udio.com, Phrase.io, 11 Labs, and Ace Studios. The sound effect credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canoe CG, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything South, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sandemocious, Big Pickle 51, and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his or her name. All on freesound.org. Also, languages are the bomb.
Paul.